Welcome to In the Field Radio, 91.3 FM WVKR, Poughkeepsie Independent Radio. I'm Erin Boogie here with Miss Lady D.
Hey,
Ooh, you sound so loud and clear.
really? I don't know why I didn't do this a while ago.
It's making me feel like I need to get a mic.
Do it.
Send me what you got.
I will.
All right.
Because I got it from Amazon.
Yes.
The stand, the mic. Yes.
Yes. Yo, God bless Jeff Bezos, the super billionaire.
Amazon God.
As much as I say I'm not going to support Amazon anymore, I find myself on there daily.
Dude, I had to get rid of my Prime when I deployed because they were like, people just start ordering a bunch of stuff. And I was like, well, let me get rid of Prime so maybe I'll be a little, deterred from doing that. As soon as I got home, put it right back on.
Listen, so I use my friend's Prime, and it's like the community account. You should see how many people is on that account. And, sometimes I'll go on there, and there'll be, stuff in the cart. And I'm like, no, this is, a shared account. You can't just leave stuff in the cart. You gotta, pick your stuff out, check out, and be out.
Or at least put it in the safe for later so that you can go back in there and put whatever you want in the cart and then check out.
Let me tell you about the save for later area. It's a disaster because we all have stuff in there saved for later. So there's just probably thousands of items that have been saved for later. Especially too, if you leave your stuff in the cart for too long, people will save it for later. It happened one time while I was in the middle of one of my orders. And it was the kid's mom. How am I going to tell you, yo, tell your mom to relax?
Right. I'll not go check on my save for later. So recently I went to kind of try to clean up my Amazon, and the stuff that I put in there has been in there for years, and it was tapestries, leggings, and I'm like, why was I going to wear this first of all?
That's epic.
Yeah, expeditiously had to get that out of there.
I know you wanted to talk about something that happened on CNN, but first, before we get into that, can we just touch on Mike Tyson and Roy Jones Jr.?
Oh my God, bless their hearts.
Let's talk about how Nate Robinson got knocked out by a YouTuber.
Now, but this YouTuber trains.
Apparently, he trains very well because he landed a KO.
Oh my goodness. The thing is, I wish that, he would have just went to the fight and not said what he said, but he tweeted this is for my friends and family and my children and all this. So everyone was like, yay, Black Power. And then he got knocked out like that.
Yo, Steph Curry was hyping him up, and then that man dropped to the mat like a ton of bricks.
Oh my goodness. And then you hear Snoop Dogg break out in classic, spiritual. He's like, oh Jesus, oh Lord Jesus.
He should narrate really everything.
Yeah, he was probably the highlight of that fight.
He was. That's what was trending on Twitter, was that Snoop Dogg actually won the match, because how funny was he?
Yeah.
But also, Mike Tyson and Roy Jones Jr., I watched them fight when I was a kid. So I was like, what year is it? What is happening? It's 2020, and I'm watching Mike Tyson and Roy Jones Jr. fight, and they're 110 years old. It was cute. I'm glad it was for charity. They didn't take it serious, and it was definitely a good effort, but okay, y'all did that.
Did you think it was really a draw? When I read, it was a draw, it ended up in a draw, and I was like, of course it did.
I kind of think that was an accurate assessment, because it was just a lot of them hugging each other. Each of them landed a few good punches, but it was just a lot of tired old men hugging it out in the ring.
Oh my goodness. Wow, that was cool.
Yeah. It was. I'm glad that it happened. It was novel. I got it for free on the Fire Stick. I can't imagine paying for that, but it was definitely something. I would watch that again if they did that with other celebrities.
Who? Regular celebrities?
Well, that's what I mean. Jake Paul and Nate Robinson were regular celebrities. You know what I mean? So That's kind of like the tone of what it was. But it's kind of like live action celebrity deathmatch. That's kind of what was happening in my mind. Like they took MTV's idea and made it real.
I thought that was coming back, and then I didn't hear that anymore, and I was very sad.
Apparently it came to pay-per-view with a YouTuber, a basketball player, and 210-year-old boxers.
Right.
You know what I like about it, though, like, all jokes aside, is I like the way Mike Tyson has matured over the years. He went from being super wild to biting people's ears off to now being, like, really chill and funny and a good businessman. He has a really successful podcast. Like, he carries himself really well. I think that's kind of cool to see.
Yeah, like, I was even shocked when I saw him with his show on Adult Swim.
Yeah.
Like, he was doing voiceovers for a whole, Scooby-Doo type series starring him. Like, that's pretty cool. Especially for somebody who gets made fun of for how they talk.
I know, which is like, his voice,
really
though,
brave.
is like classic.
Yeah. So shout out to them.
All right, let's get into this CNN thing.
So, this happened on Tuesday, I believe. Jamal Bowman appeared on CNN. And Jamal Bowman is the founder and formal principal of the Cornerstone Academy for Social Action. You know, he works at a public middle school in the Bronx. And he's a member of the Lower Hudson Valley chapter of the Democratic Socialists of America. And most importantly, he defeated a 16-term incumbent.
Good Lord.
And went on to win a seat in the House, in Congress. So, from New York. So, he was on CNN, and the news anchor asked him if he sees anyone progressive enough for him. And what she was talking about was, like, potential cabinet picks by, the newly elected president and vice president. They got to start picking people. So, what Jamal Bowman said was that he was shocked to hear the name Rahm Emanuel being thrown around about, in the cabinet. And he states that, he felt that way because Rahm Emanuel was allegedly involved in covering up the death of Laquan McDonald in Chicago. He allegedly closed like 50 elementary schools and 30 mental health institutions. Like, no good. So, and in saying that, while he was saying that, he was abruptly cut off.
Yo, the clip of
AKA
it,
censored.
So, yeah. Like, the soundbite is crazy because you could hear him just get cut off, and then they're like, oh, it seems like we lost him. Like, they kind of, like, played it off, but you could tell even the host was surprised. But when you see it, it's like they just, like, fade him out of the screen mad quick.
Right. And you know what gave me the chills the most is when he began talking. He said, first and foremost, I want to thank you for letting me be here today. Like, he already said goodbye before he started. Like, he knew.
He knew he was about to come with some controversial stuff.
And that is what just gave me the chills. I was like, he knew. Ooh.
All right, so we're going to play the soundbite, and then we'll come back.
Okay.
Do you see anyone that's progressive enough for you?
Well, first, let me say off the top, thank you so much for having me. When I hear names like Rahm Emanuel being floated as part of Biden's cabinet, considering the fact that he covered up the murder of Laquan McDonald in Chicago, considering the fact that he closed over 50 elementary schools and 30 mental health institutions, it's incredibly alarming and...
So we lost the congressman-elect there. Sorry about that. We'll try to bring him back at some other point. Up next, the color of the coronavirus.
so that clip is kind of crazy.
Yeah. I mean, I honestly, like, I wanted to talk about it when I saw it, and then I was low-key scared for us, too.
Thank God we're on non-commercial radio, and so they won't censor us.
Yeah, so, the message had to be heard. The message had to be heard. And he's from our area, like, the Lower Hudson Valley, that's Putnam, Westchester, and Rockland County. So that was his district.
So he's close.
Yeah.
And before we kick it into some music, which, depending on the timing of it, it might be all Bravo music. But let's talk about how awesome this interview with him is.
That was so cool. Was that our, like... No, it wasn't our first interview, like, out in the streets, because we did do Freak Fest, but I don't care. It was still really cool. It wasn't a party.
I think, I was going to say, I think this is the first time, though, that we've done one of the interviews that we've aired on this show out actually in the field, instead of, like, just grabbing sound bites or that kind of thing.
Right.
And it was awesome. It went really well. And we did it off the top. It wasn't one of the ones where we spent time coming up with questions, and it just flowed really well.
Right. But, that's what you can do when you have a relationship with people.
Absolutely. Which
we touched on in the interview. So.
And we super owed him that redo. He came for the awkward time.
I'm sorry.
All right, so we're going to get into some new music off his new project that dropped on the 27th. It's out now. So definitely go check that out.
Bravo?
And then when we come back from the interview, well, we'll play some of his music, we'll get into the interview, and then we'll play some more of his music, and then we'll come back.
All right, welcome back to In the Field Radio, 91.3 FM WVKR Poughkeepsie, independent radio. Did I do it right?
Absolutely. You nailed it.
So we're live here at the Holiday Stop and Shop in Newburgh, New York. There's a bunch of vendors here. There's like clothes, candles, lashes. What else they got? They had these cool nail polish things that like you put it on your nails and it stays on there for like 2 weeks. I don't know. They got infused drinks and foods. And we're here with cash money. So we're trying to get people to get some raffle tickets. We're giving away some free raffle tickets too. And we're going to pay some people and help them out for the holidays. So while we're here, In the Field Radio alumni, NHO Bravo is in the building. And because he just put something out. He just put out some heat for the holidays. He was like, here, hold that. So why don't you tell us about it?
What's going on, y'all? It's NHO Bravo. I just dropped Who is Bravo on all platforms. It's a project that's real personal to me. I'm giving you every side of what I've been through and trying to make it relatable to you.
Now, is it going to be different at all from Welcome to the Trenches?
It's very different. I think it's a better project. I think it's more personal. I think it's more, it touches more feelings and more levels of who I am, and it's conceptually better, I feel like.
Okay. So you got some joints for the ladies on there?
A couple, like two or three.
Did you make them about anybody?
One of them, yeah.
Ooh.
Nah, we ain't gonna do that.
Okay. So, wait, so are you on the market, off the market? Because you know Valentine's Day coming up.
Off the market.
He is off the market, ladies. I'm sorry, but you know what? Still, pick up that Who is Bravo. All right, so everybody talk about the Grammys, and you're an artist, so I think I'm going to ask you, is the Grammys rigged? Is it a waste of time? How do you feel about it?
Grammys is a cool accolade. Like, I'm not against it, but I'm not chasing it either. It's not really for us, I feel like.
That's true. What do you mean for us? Like, for independent artists?
Well, no, I don't feel like it's for the culture. I feel like it's more based for a different type of audience. Like it's not true to what they never acknowledge the people that are really putting in the work in our industry.
So like more mainstream.
Yeah, less hip hop, more mainstream, more what they want the public to listen to.
What do you think, Erin Boogie? The Grammys.
Well, I think they nominated some pretty lyrical artists this year. So what do you think we as consumers can do to change how it is going forward? Because it's our fault for consuming the music, right?
I feel like as consumers, we could just be more in tune with the messages that we're allowing to be put to the masses. Like I have street content too, but it's also giving both sides of it. Like it's not just good things, it's bad things too.
I like some corny music sometimes. So like, do you think that there should be less like catchy tunes? Like, you think that that's lazy?
Nah, I don't feel like catchy tunes are lazy. I think it's the concepts that are lazy.
I see.
It's also the big machine behind the radio. Like, there's a reason why you hear a Drake record 40 times in an hour or a Nicki record 40 times in an hour, and you're not hearing, I don't want to say local artists, independent artists. You don't hear independent artists like that, right? Like, it's very rare that an independent artist will break through. So I think, like, we as consumers need to say, like, you know what? I'm not going to buy Nicki Minaj's record if you don't play Young M.A. when she drops new music.
That's true. There's always been a battle with radio DJs and the station in which they work for, which is, I think, what's really great about this station that we're on is that they let us do whatever we want. Like, nobody is telling us that we cannot play what we want to play. And people used to have to, like, slide records in, do all types of finagling to get their song on the radio.
I know at one point it was unheard of for one of us to get a song on the radio. So
now I feel like I know of a lot of people that have been on Hot 97 and things like that, but it's like dropped, played, and that's it. Like, how do you get your song played over and over again?
You send it to In the Field Radio, because a lot of those same artists that are paying for play on those type of radio stations, because they're paying somebody for that relationship, we don't ask for that. You just send us your record. We'll spin it at least once. If it's something, well, unless it's not mixed or, you know what I mean? If there's some underlying situation that we can't play it. But aside from that, if it's a decent record, or when the inmates write us and tell us they want to hear something, or somebody's like, yo, I heard that record the other night, I really like that record, it gets added into rotation. And I think, like, you could ask Foreign Dre, like, his record, your record has a Diddy, we played that constantly. You know what I mean? So it's not just a one and done here, you know? But I think other radio stations, we're fortunate because it's not commercial radio. We're not beholden to commercial. So other radio stations need to adopt that model to be able to get that music to the masses.
I think it's also on the artists too. I think the artists could be a little bit more consistent with lines of communication and building relationships with people, rather than, okay, I'm here for your show and then I'm not supporting you, I don't watch, I don't tune in, I'm not interacting with you, and then I expect when I drop a project for you to let me come back up here. You know what I mean?
I do like that about you is that you pay attention to the media outlets, because that's what you're going to use to get your product out. So you be paying attention to the distributors, right? People don't do that.
And I just want to say thank you for constantly hitting us up every time you drop a project, but also, like, you're the only artist, I think, so far in the 845. I've been waiting for someone to do this, but you've hit a press run. You did Too Humble. You just left. He left Gabe to do Finally TV to come here to interview with us on the spot at the show. And weren't you on something else too?
In the studio the other day too.
With the Rec Boys, our brothers. Shout out to you for actually putting that together, because no other artist has done that yet. And you have so many outlets around here that you could utilize.
It's hard work. What do you see coming up next for yourself? You got any visuals? I know you just did the, it was like a live show online in the studio with the Rec Boys did. You did that. How was that for you? Was that exciting?
Yeah, that was dope. It was, you know what's dope about that is I got to design my own set. I got to place my own products. I got to, you know what I mean? It was me just being creative with a small space and not a lot of materials, because with COVID you can't really rent out a stage, you can't really do certain things. So by making the best out of my situation, and it ended up being a dope performance from what I've seen and heard about it. And honestly, it was I shout out to the Rec Boys for putting it together, because it was a dope event for them to put together. They had people from Africa, people from here, people from down south, like they had people from everywhere, so that was dope too.
Do you keep in touch with any of the artists from that show?
I'm in tune with Burl and Juice. I try to keep communication with like people I know, but it's hard for me to like break through. If you give me the wrong energy at first when I reach out, then I'm not gonna reach out again.
Hey, that's their problem. That's their problem. So let's talk about the production. Who did you get on this new project?
Well, it was mixed and mastered by Drawzilla. Me and him got an album coming probably December. Buying beats online. It wasn't nothing produced locally or anything like that. Hopefully this next project is completely produced locally after this.
Okay. All right, so finally, tell the people one more time about Who is Bravo, what tracks you think they should listen to first.
I think All Night is a great record. Y'all gonna enjoy that. Ladies, I think y'all gonna like Looking For Her. Real Thing is a different record. I'm singing on it. It's real R&B. And for my regular fans, pick any record on there. It's still got my content.
Okay. All right, so give everybody your social media. Let them know where they can find you.
NHO Bravo 845 on all social media, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. NHO Bravo on all streaming platforms, and y'all gonna see me.
All right, and we gonna play songs on the station. So stay tuned for the In the Field playlist.
I just want to say I appreciate y'all too for letting me come here all the time and showing my music love and supporting me online on the social media platforms and all that. I shout out to y'all for all that.
We love you. So Bravo came here, helped us put up the banner. We finally got our In the Field radio banner.
Yeah, thank you for coming through and not only letting us interview you on the spot, but also for helping us set up the table, the banner, and all the merchandise.
Yeah, guys. We got these cool AirPods holders. And we got some magnets, too. So that's cute. Little stocking stuffers. Yeah, so make sure you stream that Who is Bravo on everything. All right, thank you for coming through.
Thank you for letting me come through. Stream Who is Bravo on all platforms. We got everything going on. Everything you want, we got. So come to NHO.
Oh, yeah.
All right, welcome back to In the Field Radio. Lady D got me over here dying. We had to re-record the outro because I cannot. What do you have to say for yourself?
It did. It does.
I'm sorry, listeners, but it's radio, so we had to censor ourselves. Didn't you learn anything from our CNN sound part?
Did you learn anything?
Yeah.
Did I learn anything?
Yeah, because we got censored. Well, we had to censor ourselves.
Well, I went and started Googling who's Laquan McDonald, and then reading about the whole situation. This just happened recently, and it's clearly on there that police and a lot of people tried to cover up something, and that was a general consensus. And
that was in Chicago, right?
About it. Yeah.
Well, you know what, though? Chicago has, for many, many decades, been known for their corruption. That's what the Chicago Police Department is famous for. So, I'm not surprised.
Yeah. So, like I said, when a conversation comes up hey, stuff needs to be reformed, or why do people distrust certain bodies? And I'm this is why.
Facts, though.
Unfortunately, this is literally why. And if you can't see that, then that's a little crazy to me.
Agreed. I don't have any other topics to cover. I think we covered the major ones. Anything else you got?
I'm just excited that we're on Spotify and Apple Music or Apple Podcasts, and iHeartRadio. That's really exciting for me.
It took really long for them to approve us on iHeart. I was getting a little bit nervous, wasn't gonna lie to you. I was about to reach out to their little help support people to be like, what's taking so long? And that's when we got the email that it got approved and we were on iHeart too, which I think is so cool.
Yay! So congratulations to us. But you know what? We still only save our new exclusive music for you, people that listen live.
That's the unfortunate part of the podcasting is that you can't play the music. So it's just the interviews and the intros and the outros. But the music is exclusively for our WVKR listeners.
Right. So y'all should feel special about that. I mean, I feel special about that.
Yeah, no, I think that's a good trade-off. Like, it gives you some content that's exclusive to the radio show, but then you have the replay value for the interviews on the major platforms. So it works out really well.
I mean, because the people that listen live are, like, the real MVPs to me. Like, they're, like, my favorite.
I agree. Yeah. They deserve exclusive content.
Okay.
So
with that being said, you know, we want to hear from you. I mean, we want to hear from everyone, but we especially want to hear from people that listen live. And you can email us at info@inthefieldradio.com. Tell us what you like, what you don't like, what songs you like that day.
Yeah, please request songs. That's how we know what to keep in rotation. That's a big deal for us. Right. Otherwise, we're just picking what we like.
Right. I mean, I feel like they'll like what we like.
Facts.
But this is about you. This is about you.
We're trying to share the wealth here.
Yeah.
And you know what? You could find us. We're at In the Field Radio everywhere. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Send us a DM if you don't want to send an email. That's fine too.
True.
And then you have my page, Erin Boogie. You have Deb's page, which is all types of underscores and extra letters.
It's only THEE lady _D on Instagram.
I can never remember where the underscore is. I'm guilty of that.
It's between the lady and D because I don't want people to be like, the way to do. So, you know, I put the space there.
To help the peoples out.
Yes, as much as I can.
And we have Maritza next week is the interview. That was a good interview. And I really like her song.
Maritza Mert?
Yeah. And then now we're going to interview her producer, the production team that she works with in December. So that ended up being a really cool link too.
Yeah.
You know what's funny too is I just saw a flyer for like a producer event and they were the judges.
Yes, I saw that too. Wait, but you didn't see it on their page, you saw it somewhere else.
Yeah.
That's so cool. See?
I was like, wow,
Girl,
what a small world.
That was just like me seeing her song on Spotify.
Yes.
Like,
I can't wait to play that song. I think our listeners are gonna like her music a lot.
Yes.
All right. Well, make sure you guys tune in next week for Maritza Merck, and then also check out Bravo. He's talented. He's got good music. We play him all the time. He's definitely in the Field Radio family. So his project is Who is Bravo, and it's out on all streaming platforms. And make sure you check him on social media too.
Yeah. And I just want to randomly shout out Tech because we love him.
Oh, yeah, we do. That's big,
He's
bro.
on that station, too.
Yeah, listen to his show on Thursdays from 2 to 4.
Yeah, or a lot of times from 2 to 4. I don't know. He's on there a lot. It'd be like every day. I don't know if he's on air every single time, but...
No, he's on, he DJs from his house a lot.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well,
so you could peep him on Facebook
Thursdays
DJing
from
too.
2 to 4. Yeah. I don't want to, you don't have to confirm or deny whether you have Facebook abilities, but, if you can.
Check him out everywhere, basically.
Yeah.
All right, well, it's been real.
Well, good night, y'all.
See you all next week.